Good morning. Welcome to Super Soul Sunday Talk. I wanted to talk to you something very interesting today. Oh, by the way, outside weather is bearable. It's not that much cold, but it is cold. And you all know my Sunday ritual. I had my wonderful hot oatmeal cooked with almond milk and sprinkled with blueberries and all the cinnamon and the New York Times and the BBC in the back. You all know. What I want to talk today is in India, we all know that the famous Delhi bus gang rape. 6 men gang raped a woman, and she's a young and medical student. She was thrown out on the road after raping her brutally, and they did whatever they could, assault her and sexually and also physically. And subsequently she died in the hospital, and the world actually shook with that kind of gang rape, and all over the world the media and everybody were spoke, and as usual, once that case is over, we will forget and we will move on to other things. That's what the entire world and the media is. But the latest controversy in India is there's one of the rapists is a young fellow, it's a minor. He was freed. And the Delhi government, the Chief Minister Kejriwal, is giving him 10 lakh rupees and also a suing mission. So now, one of my close friend, Muthuramal Subramaniam of Tamil Nadu, in a Facebook, he's constantly campaigning that this is totally wrong. That Nirbhaya, first of all, Nirbhaya mom, 2 days ago, she came out and said her name is Jyoti Singh. So no longer call her a Nirbhaya. Now she's a Jyoti Singh legally. We have to give her a name, the girl who got victim and who died. So now the Jyoti Singh rapist being freed, the India, the so-called women lib, all shouting and screaming, and our best friend Muthuramal Subramaniam is actually having a Facebook campaign, and he's posting a lot of pictures of that victim. And the lawyer actually who fought for this minor's right in the court and who is coming out of he served his punishment and is coming out. They are saying the lawyer also a woman, her name is Nina. The Nina also a woman, and she's a member of Kejriwal's party, and how she can do this. And this is totally wrong. And there is one of Muthuramalingam friend, she is also a woman. She says these people should be stoned to death, and they should be thrown out the same way this woman is raped and killed. So what are we talking now here? So the violence if you produce a violence with another violence, can you win and you can bring a justice? That's all it is. But we all have to think one very important thing in the life is what it is. Now I'm going to talk like a lawyer. Nina, what she did is, that is her job. She has to protect her client, and she has to do whatever the law says that she has to do. That's all she did. And how come she is held responsible for fighting for that criminal? That's the lawyer's job. That's all she did. And now they are politicizing this. On the top, we never understand the situation of these criminals. If once you condemned as a criminal and you have no chance or a choice to reform yourself, that's what the jails for, prisons for. But most of the time, these people who go to the prison, they come back as more criminals. So I think the Kejriwal, what he did is, he did the right thing. He is trying to reform this fellow. There's a minor. I'm not saying that minor did the right thing. He did a bad thing. But the law, that's all. For the minor, you cannot put him in the prison forever according to Indian law. So whatever the term, he served and he came out. So what are we trying to do here? I mean, people are writing now. The same people actually condemning an Islamic State, when they are chopping the people's hand or when they are chopping the people's head, they are screaming on them. And you are preaching the same thing here. Reform, that's the most important thing in the life. So my thing, what I want to tell you all today is, before you assume, learn. Before you judge, understand. Before you hurt, feel. Before you say, think. So put yourself in the same situation of that Delhi gang rapist, the minor boy, or maybe your son, your brother, whoever he is, right? So before you go and assume, learn what is the law says and what law can do. That's all the law. We live in a democratic society. Here you cannot do anything against the law. If you do against the law, then you will be punished. But the punishment, whatever it is, if there is a capital punishment, yes, of course, this boy would have got a capital punishment. He was tried as a juvenile. So the juvenile gets only that certain period of a time he can be in a prison. So when he was in a prison, he was being thrown out. Now back to you. So learn that. So before you judge, understand the entire consequences and the situation what you are speaking. You are preaching violence. Before you hurt, you feel yourself. If you get hurt, it's not that physically you have to get hurt. If that is your child, that is if your brother, that is whatever he is, right? If it's related to you, how will you feel? That boy also has a mom and dad, I'm sure, right? So before you say, think. So that's all my humble request to you all, and particularly, especially Mr. Muthuramalingam, please stop posting this kind of idiotic messages. You might get a 40 likes and 50 people will love it, but that's not fair. That's all. So having said that, before you assume, learn, before you judge, understand, before you hurt, feel, before you say, think. All right, boys, girls, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.